My name is Judy Niemeyer, and I'm here to show you my newest set of Creative Grid diamond wedding ring templates. And here's a picture of the package. The package actually has 6 template pieces in it, and I'm going to show you the first quilt that we actually make. The instructions for making the quilt I'm going to show you are in the package, and this is the quilt right here. Okay. This is all done without any paper piecing, and all you have to do is have the Creative Grid templates to make this quilt. All right, I'm going to show you another quilt that we'd use the templates for. And this quilt right here has some expansion pieces to it, and this one is actually for a cut loose press pattern that we're going to be doing, and we will be adding some triangle pieces to the outside to set it together. It makes a very nice table topper, and I'm going to show you one more piece here. And here's the third sample. And again, what we've done here is just change the way the color is being used a little bit, but it's a very attractive table topper, and we will have the triangle template pieces that go in to fill in around the edge of it. All right. The other thing that we're actually going to make out of our diamond wedding ring templates are the diamond wedding ring quilt, which is done with foundation paper piecing. And I'm going to show you how to do all of the strip piecing as well, so that you can see the whole process. So what I want to do is show you the pieces here. And what we're creating here is some arcs. And this is without paper piecing. We have our background pieces. We have our melon piece. And then if you're not using the paper piecing ones, you also have to have the little diamond template there. If we're working with a pattern that has the paper piecing, we won't have to use this template piece because it's been provided with the paper piecing units. All right. So now I'd like to show you how all of these pieces are actually cut out. In our instructions, the instructions are very clear from the beginning, and it actually tells us to cut 2 5.5-inch strips, I believe it is. And we're going to take this. And then it has us arrange these pieces right here onto these strips. So we're going to just take this piece, we're going to set it like this, and then this piece is set like that, and then this piece here is set like this. And then all we have to do is cut along the edge of this piece like that. And then what I do is actually come over here and cut another wedge like this, and just kind of get an idea how that wedge is, what size that's going to be. And then I'm going to take the next one and I'm going to cut another wedge like this, and I'll usually do about 6 layers of fabric underneath it. And then I'm going to set my template pieces up again. And I like to cut out lots of fabric at the same time. So once I get my template pieces arranged on there, then I can actually move these 2 off to the side. And we're going to take that piece like that. And then we're going to slip this around. And we're going to slide this one over here like this. We've also added smart corners to our template pieces. So we're going to cut off the little tips there. You need to make one more little cut. Right? And then we're going to swing this around. I forgot to put my board on here. We're going to move that. There we go. Right? There's our first little piece. And I'm going to actually grab my board here that turns, and we're going to take this piece, put it on here like this, and then all I have to do is cut. I always like to start with a piece that has a little bit, so that the fabric is a little bit bigger than my template pieces, so that when I cut, I can cut several layers at a time exactly the same size as the template shape. And there we go. So these are all of my background pieces. For my, there we go. And that's how we do our wedges. Now I'm going to show you the next set. These pieces are actually for the wings, or actually these are our arc pieces right here. And what we have to do is open up our fabric and we're going to stack them. And I'm using 2 colors today, and we're going to take our other 2 colors. And we place everything so it's right side up, because all the templates were designed so you place them onto the right side of the fabric. Right. And now we're going to take these 2 pieces here, and we're going to get that shape in there, and so that it fits onto our fabric like that. And then I'm just going to take this and I'm going to cut right along that edge like that. Then I'm going to straighten out the rest of my fabric. And you can see that the strips don't have to be cut perfectly when you're actually doing your first set of cutting. And we're going to lay that piece on there like that, and then we're going to put our templates back on to see where our shapes are. And then I'm going to take this piece and we're going to cut right along this edge like this. And then we're going to take this piece like that. And I'm going to place this one like this. So now I have all of my layers set up here. And after I get those layers and get the pieces lined up in there again, then I'm just going to take and rough cut again right in between it. And now I can take my whole template piece here, and we're going to line it up to that line. And this is something you really can't do when you don't have the creative grid templates. That's why I love them, because they stick down to the fabric and I can cut through lots of layers. And there we go. So there's our first arc there, and then we do the same thing over with this piece as well. All right, I don't think I need to cut that piece, so we're going to set those out of the way. And the next piece I'm going to show you is actually the little diamond piece. And in the instructions, it actually tells us that we have to have a rectangle piece. And all we're going to do is just take this little diamond here, shape here, and we're going to set it in an angle. And I'm going to rough cut my first piece like this. And then we're going to take and flip it around like that. And then I'm going to cut on this. Now we have our little diamond pieces. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you is how we actually sew our, do our curved piecing. And I'm going to show you using a glue pen how we set these pieces up. And we're going to find our glue pen here. We're going to find our template piece, which is this piece right here. All right. So I'm going to lay this piece on here, and I have 2 little holes here to mark, which I don't have a pencil with me, so I'm just going to take and slip a little pin in this spot right here underneath it. But there's a little hole there that you have to mark. All right, and then we're just going to take this, our background piece, and we're going to lay it on here just like this. And all I have to do is take one pin, and I'm going to pin that edge there like this. And I usually do a little bit of a weave along that pin, and then I'm going to bring this around. I'm going to grab my glue pin, and I'm going to place this glue right along this edge. And then we're going to match up, and I'm going to, right here, I'm going to put the 1/4 inch match there. And there is a little hole in your templates where you can actually mark that with a pencil if you can't guess where it's at. And there we go. And now these are actually ready to sew on, and all you have to do is just come in here and do a 1/4 inch seam allowance, okay? And that's the way the actual template or the centerpieces are put on, right? So the next thing I want to actually go through with you guys is we actually have the 60-degree triangle from Creative Grid, and when we designed the diamond wedding ring pattern, we actually redesigned all of the units so that they would fit this piece, this triangle unit, so that we didn't have to cut out a whole bunch of triangles without a ruler. And this piece calls for a strip, and all we have to do here is take this strip and we open it up. We're going to place it on here, and we always cut all of our strips larger than what we need. And then we're going to take this, and then I just have to roll this around a little bit. Okay. Now on the ruler, it actually has some seam allowances off to the edge. And if you look at the quilt, the way the quilt is actually, I don't know if you can see it, but there's actually some half triangle units that we have to set up. What you need to do is trim a straight edge along the half triangle piece, and then on your ruler you have these lines, the 1/4 inch line, and all we have to do is just lay that down like this, right along that dashed line that they have marked on there. And then we're going to roll it around, and this gives us our side pieces to finish off all and square up the quilt. There we go.